What's happening, everyone? Art at Patience Metal Fab, and I'm just getting back from a little vacation. One of the downsides to doing that is I end up missing some progress on the cars, like the Group B Renault Rally car. You can see it's come a long way since the last episode where we mocked up the engine and transmission, we did a bunch of suspension work and made it a roller. You guys saw it parked next to the other R5 that is in kind of complete stock form. If you haven't seen that episode, I'll put the link up here so you can check it out. Now that I got to that point, the exterior mock-up was the next step, and that's what Max has been working on over the last week while I've been gone. You can see he's got the major components, the doors, hood, fender, front bumper, and these really wide rear arches on, along with the side skirts. And it's starting to look like a car. Now, the challenge here is just getting all of the provisions to either work or creating new ones to mount this stuff. He's done a really good job so far, but there are still little tweaks and changes we have to make. And I think we're gonna start this episode with the creation of one of those. You can see the fiberglass bumper isn't sitting super well along the headlight area here. So tomorrow morning when he's in, he's gonna be tearing this off and creating essentially a bumper bar, but kind of a support for this. Max just got to a reassembly point on the Renault, so I figured we take a little pause and have him give you an explanation of what he's been working on over the last couple of weeks. Because as you guys saw in some of the past episodes, this front end really didn't exist, and now there's a ton going on, and then we have these major components that are about to get put back in. So Max, where were you like a week and a half ago, and what did you have to do to get to this point?
About a week and a half ago, I had nothing hung up front, so no radiator, no oil cooler, no shrouding, no bash bar, nothing like that. So we kind of started by hanging the bumper on the ends of these tabs out here, which are all aftermarket for the Group B stuff, considering it's all wider, all fiberglass aftermarket. So we got these hung, we made some support brackets, and then we have our actual hood mounts up underneath here. So then once all that was placed and we had, you know, body fitment going pretty good, we got the radiator set up with these little saddles down here for the radiator to sit into. That radiator has a big, nice factory duct that mates up to the outlet on the hood itself. So what we wanted to do was utilize that by incorporating some ducting for the oil cooler itself. So what we did was get everything mounted. We cut open this actual front to mount the oil cooler itself underneath the radiator. That way it gets priority air, the radiator gets priority air, and we're not overlapping the two.
Everything is directing that airflow up. All the hot air is going to get out of there. And really, that's the name of the game when you're building a race car. Form over function, but in this case, we're kind of getting both.
Yeah, we got a lot of both going on right here. It looks great, and it's going to work really well, too. So,
well, now the paint is dry, I'm excited to get these components in there, and then we'll show you what the final result of the front end looks like.
Yep.
Max has been working so quickly on the Renault that it's been hard for me to keep up in terms of footage, but I was able to get a lot of the coolers that he was working on. So can you break down what we've got up front?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got our oil cooler right here. got our radiator right there. We built some really cool shrouding and ducting to keep those two divorced, so you're not running air through the oil cooler into the radiator and stacking your systems.
Super solid and looks really awesome. And then you guys saw a bulk of the footage in this episode was with the side coolers. So what do we got here?
Right here we have one of the two heat exchangers for our air to water system. So the air to water intercooler that we don't have yet will be placed behind everything, and then it will run through an electric water pump that will either run in series, one cooler to the other, or we will split from the two outlets on the pump and run each individually and then Y back into the inlet. So.
And what you guys just saw was the fuel filler kind of coming together. One of the coolest things that I think is it's integrated into this upper mount, so it's super solid, but it still has some rubber bushings and give. Really cool unit, especially when we flush that up to the bodywork. Now the big thing you guys didn't see is all the exhaust manifold work. So I'm gonna give you a little preview. You can see just how incredible this came out. And I've been filming that along the way. You're gonna see it in the very next episode. So you gotta make sure you subscribe to the page, like this video, and we'll see you then.